Hey, everybody, we're live in the 405. No, we're live at Texas Toast Studios. Thanks for joining us, everyone. You look like you're Glenn Danzig or Jerry Only. That's who you look like. You should do that the whole time.
Pass?
It's totally awesome, man.
Yeah.
Guys, it is Sunday, late afternoon, and we are here at Texas Toast. I am Matt. To my right, your left is Chris, and working the boards one more time this week is the lovely and talented Mrs. Texas Toast, who was actually out with some friends last week. So, sorry, I had no idea how late it was, and I was eating an ice cream. And it was an ice cream sandwich, and it was mint chip. And now I'm going to drink beer, because the only thing that goes better with beer than the only thing better than beer and ice cream is beer and wedding cake, and I haven't gone to any weddings for a long time. So, Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Yeah, Miss Texas Toast, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
Meh. Yeah, sometimes it's a meh kind of day. So,
Is all of this because you got a flu shot?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
Mrs.
I'm gonna
Toast did
blame
have
it
to
on
get a flu
modern
shot though,
medicine.
and yeah, the reason they call it practicing medicine is because they're only practicing. So.
Because they never get it right.
Well, they do and they don't. So anyway, we have a lot of stuff to talk about this week, and we also want to take your questions. And the reason we want to take your questions is because we've missed a bunch of people's questions in the last several podcasts. Now, I'm not promising we're going to get them all this time, but like if they were off topic before, we missed them. So hopefully you guys step up and help us out with questions about guitar building or questions about relationships, because we're experts at both. Actually, we're experts at neither.
The guitar thing we can probably help you out
We can fudge
the
that one.
relationship thing,
Yeah, well.
50-50.
Anyway, but let's talk a little bit about what's happened this week. This week was loaded with, there was some good stuff and some not so good stuff that happened this week. If you follow me on Facebook or me or Instagram, we shipped a guitar last week and it got to my friend Vince in Nogales, Louisiana on Wednesday, and it showed up so badly damaged that I have to rebuild the guitar. And special thanks to the gorillas who work at UPS who broke it. I have no idea how they. I mean, it went way beyond negligence, and I don't care. Yeah, Mrs. Toast, if you can hear her, I'm sure you can, but just on the off chance you can't, she was saying that they looked like there was a forklift fork that went through the box, and yeah.
And that stuff,
And a boot print on the box.
There was a boot print on the box too, yeah.
well, and yeah, they had to have thrown that box around because that box was
Yeah.
way bigger than the guitar, and that guitar was bubble wrapped to within an inch of its life, like way more bubble wrapped than
A lot of shit that
I.
went
Yeah.
on.
Well, yeah, and
Now, you guys might not know this, but on the same day that I shipped that guitar, I shipped a box to my friend Eric Terra, and I shipped a box to Mike. Mike's last name escapes me. Both the boxes that they got were so badly damaged that they thought for sure that the guitars inside were going to be ruined. Fortunately, they weren't.
Are you putting fragile on the boxes?
And I'm not putting Fred
I
Godly.
don't think that helps.
But what I am doing is I'm saving pictures that of the guitars that I sent to both those two guys so that I can use it on my UPS claim. Anyway, guys, that was a really bummer deal. And a couple of people were like, well, can you fix it? And I'm like, oh, that's not the point. Because my friend Vince wants a brand new guitar, not a fixed guitar. It'd be one thing if he broke it, but he didn't. So could I fix it? Yeah.
But it would be harder to fix if you just build a new one.
Mrs. Toast is right. It would be more difficult to fix than it would to just start new. And then I wouldn't have to try to convince Vince that a repaired guitar is just as good as a new one. In the plus column, the headstock took a huge hit and didn't break off. So that's the one upside, is knowing that our headstocks are tough.
No, it's not clear coated yet.
Oh, this guitar? Yeah. So that was the bad thing that happened. But there was some good stuff too. One of them is if you guys have been watching the live streams, you have seen that our friend Mike Learn came by and painted our super awesome guitar. It's funny, that's a misnomer to say this is a scrap wood guitar at this point, because people are like, well, you first of all, you can't see the scrap wood except for right here in the neck pocket. You can. Let me show you the back too, because I don't know if we did a video where we showed you.
We showed the back a little bit. Once again, video doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And I watched him do it, and I've seen all the tricks, and I'm still seeing things pop out in 3D. I think that's one of the reasons that it doesn't look as cool on camera, as cool as it looks. It doesn't look as cool as in real life, because he applied a lot of kind of 3D tricks to it that makes it look, it looks like it's got topography, and it looks like it's got, seams and crevices, and it's really neat. And I hate him so much.
I know. And he'll put like bottom layer colors, like here's some pink. What the hell is that gonna do? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I still don't know how that worked, but good. You can kind of see it on the.
Well, the other thing that's interesting too, and Matt and I talked about this, is the bullet holes look silver.
But there's no silver
There's
at
no
all.
silver.
In there. It's just black and white.
Black and white, and green, and yellow, and red, and blue. Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah.
It's not like he brought a fleet of colors. He brought primary colors.
Yeah.
And he didn't even use them all.
Didn't even use them. We're trying to work on. So a couple of things I want to talk about when this guy is out. First and foremost is that this guitar is going to be getting top coat sometime very soon. The neck is going to be getting finished, and then it's going to be ready to assemble. And this guitar is still available for sale. I got a snarky comment from someone, and I don't think they meant it as a snarky comment, but I took it as a snarky comment, and it was.
You took something poorly?
I know, I took something incorrectly. So what I perceived as a snarky comment was, so I'm asking $2,000 for this guitar, fully assembled, with a hard case, shipped to the lower 48. Now remember, that's going through PayPal. I have to pay whatever it is, 3% to PayPal, 3.5%. So I don't. It's not like I'm just getting fat rich off of $2,000 guitars from PayPal shipped with a case. But
what if someone sent you a money order or a cashier's check?
That's a whole different kettle of fish. Money order or but anyway.
The same.
But anyway, so someone said it's neat, but not $2,000 neat. You could buy a Kiesel for that money, and I'm like, Kiesel makes a fine guitar, but I don't think you quite grasp what we're doing here. You know what I mean?
The number one thing that I take away from that is you can't buy a Kiesel with a Mike Learn paint job for $2,000.
No, you can't.
You can buy a Kiesel and you can have Mike Learn paint it. It's going to cost you more than $2,000.
Wait. One thing that the commenter on YouTube said was that after all, it's a scrap wood guitar. At this point, I tell you what, I'll deduct $20 for the.
Excuse me,
scrap
but
wood.
how many gold tops from Gibson were scrap wood guitars?
The funny part about scrap wood is all the wood that made this guitar
was
we made
select for other guitars.
Yeah, we made other guitars out of these pieces. These were just smaller leftover pieces that we glued together that a lot of guys would throw out. Not everyone would throw them out. John would have made 4 guitars out of this.
Sure.
But
I think John's making a guitar out of scraps from the scrap wood guitar.
Exactly, yeah. And really it's just a fun name for the guitar, but it's not like
it was
junk.
free wood.
And we call it
dumpster
scrap wood.
dives.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't from a pallet.
Yeah, it's free wood to us
No, you
because we
paid
would
for
have.
it.
Well,
It's
yeah,
true.
but we would have. Typically, most people would throw that wood out, or they would save enough of it to make a guitar.
Yeah.
All of it out of the same wood.
Those guys are dicks.
And they wouldn't say anything about it, right? I mean, if you saved enough mahogany to build a body out of mahogany, you wouldn't say, "Oh, it's a scrap wood mahogany body."
Yeah.
You'd be like, "It's a mahogany body."
Wait, how did that go?
It's a scrap wood mahogany body.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to tell you guys is one of the reasons that we use the words scrap wood guitar was because we did a video a couple years ago, scrap wood guitar video, and it had more views than any other video. So we thought we would see if we could do it again. I don't generally build stuff out of glued up stuff because there's no money saving in it at all. As a matter of fact, any money that you save by using wood you already have is offset by glue and time and stuff like that. So this is just a fun project. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I take a lot of pride in not being a guitar company that everybody gets to have a guitar that we make. There's some exclusivity there. You know what I mean? No, really. It sounds weird, but we're a 1% guitar company.
Sounds exclusionist.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. These our
mine's
guitars
fucking
aren't
moron
for
over
everyone,
here.
and that's okay.
Well,
You
it's
know?
a good thing because we can't make them very fast.
Yeah. I mean, even if we sold them for $5, how you know what I mean? If you and I were independently wealthy, we could just dick around and do this all day free. Notice I didn't say for free.
For free?
For free. But if we got paid from some other thing and we were able to do this just for the fun of it, and how many could we make? Even if money was no object, it's not like it. You know, there's only going to be so many of these in the world, and that's not that Kiesel's making unlimited guitars, but they make way more guitars a year than we do. They make more guitars a day than we make a year, probably.
Well,
That's cool.
Goslin Creative said scrapwood doesn't matter now. It's got Mike learned tone paint.
It does have Mike learned tone paint.
Yeah.
So anyway, I took that wrong, and I probably didn't. Yeah, but
But it's still it's a shitty thing to say.
it's kind of I mean, we
don't
get it.
fucking
You're not
watch
going to
it,
buy
I
it.
guess.
You know.
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, thanks. Shut up,
The
Eric.
other thing is, not everybody has to like this guitar.
This guitar doesn't like everybody.
No, this guitar loves everybody.
No, it
only
doesn't.
only one person has to like this
That's right.
guitar, and that has to be the guy that buys it.
My-
Everybody else could hate it.
Here's my thing. If we sold this guitar for less money, you would see it on Reverb the next day for more money.
Maybe.
So anyway, well, you and I aren't going to live forever, Chris. Eventually, okay.
Eventually,
So,
some of your stuff's going to get resold.
yep. And it's going to be when we're dead.
Not by
and
me?
Yeah, not just by you.
Okay.
So this was a cool thing that happened. There's another cool thing that
It was
happened.
really
that-
fun watching him do it too. And Mike's cool, and I like hanging out with
It's
Mike.
always fun hanging out with Mike.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
oh, hold on. Yes,
well,
We had-
Joseph Caswell's asking about your Texas Toast T-shirt.
this one.
That's the original.
This is an old school Texas Toast shirt. This is the last of the
It says
the
custom
V8
guitars
Interceptors.
on it,
Yeah.
yeah.
My friend Paul Shalou had these made for me in 2011, I think. So, but let's get back to what I want to talk about with Mike's guitar. We talked a little bit during the what? No, I thought you were like,
Yeah, say everything. I thought we were beyond that,
okay.
but we're not, and we're going to go back, and that's cool.
Yeah, no, we're jumping back to Mike's paint job. Mike and I are working on a class, a Paint a Guitar with Mike Learn class. Wouldn't that be cool? And what I'm thinking it would be is Mike would come up with the design, whatever that is. We would build the bodies, we would seal the bodies, and we would put the base coat on the bodies. You would show up and hang out for a couple of days with Mike and do all the paint work. And then, like, if you wanted to add a neck and all the components, it would be more, but, something like that. I think that would be a really fun way to spend a 3-day weekend for some guys or some ladies or some guys and ladies, whatever.
And Mike, I bet we could figure out a way to do that in the course of a weekend. Saturday, Sunday kind of a thing.
Sure.
We might have to do something beyond that.
Like, oh, yeah, you
But-
could absolutely come
but
up
I
with
mean,
a
for
paint
the,
job.
for,
in a
for the
weekend.
common man.
Yeah.
For the everyday guy.
Yeah, like we would probably
right,
have to
or
spray
Saturday,
clear
Sunday.
on it or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
and then-
or
yeah.
they take it knowing that they're going to have to do something to it.
Sure.
Whatever it is. I bet we could do that.
Yeah. But anyway, so guys, we're working on that with Mike. It's really great to have someone who's as talented as Mike be as close to us as Mike is. And I mean in proximity, not like we take windy walks together. So
And I hope that it's the hot rod thing
that would be cool.
where we distress it and because he was talking about learning to pinstripe and he's like, you know, I don't know that I can teach people to
Yeah.
pinstripe the way that they think.
Even in 5 days.
Yeah, in to get the results that they think they're gonna get.
You have, yeah, if
That
you have,
fast. Pinstriping is hard, and I know pinstriping
Yeah.
is hard because I can't do it either.
if you have taste and you have, but you might not have the ability of doing pinstriping, learning how to go from 0 to 60 pinstriping
Crazy
in 5 days.
frickin' yeah, awesome pinstriping. But we could flat black and a little pinstriping and some distress and
Sure.
and make them look really
Sure.
cool. That's my vote. So
Cool.
with Chris.
Yeah. Another thing that was really neat that happened today, and I don't know if I'm the first person to have done this. As a matter of fact, I'm positive I'm not the first person to have done this. But I'm working on a guitar for my friend Jim, and I needed a Floyd Rose recess. So I did one at an angle. I don't know if you guys can see that there. And again, I'm positive somebody else who builds guitars has done this already, but I am super excited about this.
Here, I got
As you should
Sticky
be.
Pokey. Angle.
Angle. And you know why I decided to show this to you guys? Because Brian Nutter just told me how cool this was. That's right, my man crush, Brian Nutter, just told me how neat he thought that was.
How did he get a hold of you? Did he call you? Did
He
you talk to him
didn't. It was
personally?
through Instagram. No, he doesn't call me.
He didn't text you.
He doesn't text me.
What did he say? What was the first words that he said?
My darling Matt.
Yeah.
I don't know why all of a sudden Brian Nutter is
English?
is a Monty Python character, but yeah. Anyway, so that was some of the good and some of the bad that happened this week. There's been lots and lots of other stuff that happened too this week. I'm looking around, and there's so much going on, guys.
Put a wicked cutter in a tool.
Oh, that's right. We
which was
upgraded.
way harder than it should have been.
We upgraded our rigid 13-inch planer to a Shelix cutter head, and it was totally difficult and totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It was, and it made me feel both good and bad about myself.
yeah, it made me feel significant and insignificant all at the same time.
All at once. Luckily, while you were feeling insignificant, I felt significant, and vice versa.
I never felt insignificant.
You just said you felt
No,
insignificant.
I said you felt insignificant.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's why I said it made you feel. I don't know that I said that.
You didn't.
You didn't.
Okay.
I don't know what you said.
I don't know what
but
I
I'm just siding
So
with
lots
you.
of good stuff and a couple of bad things. We're working on the bad things, and to my friend Vince, I've got his body cut out and done. His neck is mostly done. Russ is working on a new Maltese cross inlay fretboard for me, and it's going to be a rush job and get put back together, but we're not going to rush it. Yeah?
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, things like that happen.
Yeah.
And you can either,
I felt sick. When
fold up and quit, which crossed my mind for a brief second, or you can go, okay, well, how can I fix this?
Yeah.
What can I do?
You
not
can't
only
fix this Spicoli.
well, not only to fix this particular case, but to stop these things from happening in the future
Yeah.
or minimize them. And honestly, this is the first guitar we've ever had that's really been damaged.
One
and
was
I've
claimed to have
shipped.
been damaged.
Yeah.
I believe that was
we
actually
don't think
shipping
it was.
damage.
Yeah.
And even if it was, so this is the second out of
Yeah,
lots
I don't
and lots
believe
of
that it was
guitars.
I don't
actually
believe
And
that.
damaged
I've
to
sold
shipping.
lots of guitars. You've sold lots of guitars. Now, and you hate for that stuff to happen.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can come up with ways that it will happen even less in the future.
That would
So
be
out
good.
of the hundreds of guitars we've sold that one has gotten damaged, now maybe we can get up to the thousands of
That would
guitars
be
that have
good.
sold that one's going to get damaged.
Yep.
And something else will probably happen down the road.
I'm
We'll
sure-
be like, well, that sucks. What else can we do? Well, we could encase them in, we could drive them to each guy
you could.
separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you buy a guitar from us, you have to get a plane ticket.
Yeah. We'll fly it out to you. Private jet. We could do that too.
Good.
That'd be cool. It's going to cost more.
It's going to be a little extra.
It costs more than $75.
So anyway, let's move forward with the topic for today. I think we're 15, 20 minutes in to the podcast already. What?
Big mouths.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
I've had other people responding to things that I was going to say.
Okay.
Because you are
You can
just
hold
a
up your
blowhard.
hand. You can do this. You can go, hey,
If
shut up.
if I don't talk, there's no show. That's just the way it is. Ready? Let's go.
Okay, so we have a question. Joe Hervey 84 asks, "Who's the woman?"
Who's the woman?
I'm guessing me.
I'm pretty sure that's Mrs. Toast.
I
Yeah.
think he's new. And
Okay.
I want to say to everybody, hello. I'm sorry. I'm still working under these unacceptable working conditions, and I can't comment on anything. Somebody had mentioned that you will have a pin router for your headstone, and someone beat me to my reply on that is that you would be buried with your beloved pin router. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. There's some weird shit on here.
All right, well, let's get right to it. It sounds like there's a bunch of questions that need to get answered. Let's.
Yeah, so Joe's news, obviously.
Joe
Hervey, who's the
Oh,
woman.
yeah. Who's the woman?
Because
Yeah.
you were like, let's talk about what's new this week. I'm like, well, apparently Joe Hervey and Thor's new.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm not talking, even though I'm talking. Ready, go.
Okay, well, now's the time that you talk.
All right, I need to know what a time, because I'll just fucking vamp for. So, guys, what we've wanted to do is a live Q&A thing where you can send in your guitar building questions, because we've missed a bunch of those in the last few weeks. And excuse me, I'm not going to promise that we'll get to all of them, but we'll try to get to as many of them as we can. If you have any questions that I don't get in this video or any other videos, leave them in the comment section or send me an email with your question. I'll try to get those answered as best as I can. I might defer you to some other people or places, but I will absolutely do my best to help you with whatever you got. So are there any questions coming in?
Yeah, here's a question
All
right up your alley. M. Moretti 1.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to build my first guitar. I'm a CNC machinist and have access to a CNC router. Do you think it's a good idea to use that or a pin router?
Well, it sounds like you have access to a CNC router, and if you have access to that, I'm betting you don't have access to a pin router. So
well, it sounds like he does.
Oh, well, I would say I would use whatever tool you're the most comfortable with. Either one will do the job. I mean, I like the pin router, and there are other guys who like the CNC machine. So I don't, as long as you're making guitars, I don't think it much matters.
I saw something this week, and I don't know that it was related to us specifically, but it sounded like it was. And it was, I like watching this other guy's channel because he uses tools that aren't quite, he doesn't have a shop full of tools, and he makes some really cool stuff.
That's us?
No.
Okay.
No, we are the guys with the shop full of tools.
Okay.
That make cool stuff. And this other guy makes stuff, and he doesn't have quite as many tools.
Okay.
And I thought, that's kind of beside the point, because we could make guitars without as the cool tools. It would just take us longer, which is what it takes this other guy, because I've watched his videos.
Which is what we have done a lot of in the past.
Yes.
I wasn't born with a pin router.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that you love your beloved pin router is because it does a really good job, and it does it pretty darn quickly.
Well, actually, it's because I've made so many guitars without my beloved pin router.
Yeah, and that tool is just way easier to do those jobs.
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy some tools. Someone said once sent me a thing. See if you can make a whole guitar with a Dremel. Well, it's never occurred to me to do that. So you have to have a tool.
The fact of the matter is, you could make a guitar with a Dremel. It would take way longer than you'd want to do, and
but
you
it's a lot less of an investment.
Well, yeah, but at this point, stepping back now for Matt is a virtual impossibility. Like, So
I don't know that I have the theory to make a guitar with hand tools or a Dremel or something, but I don't think
you may have to make a couple before you get it right.
Maybe.
and then that would be even worse. But why would you want to do that?
It would never occur to me to try. No.
So the point is, if the guy's got a pin router or he's got CNC and he knows how to use the CNC,
use CNC.
Use whichever one you want to use. It's not, you're not going to make a better or worse guitar because you pick one or the other.
No. And here's something else I will say to whoever asked that question, Mrs. Toast. Can you tell me who it was?
It was M. Moretti 1.
M. Moretti 1. If you, I'll be surprised if this is the first and last guitar that you make. This will be the first guitar that you make, and next time you'll try some new stuff. But yeah, use whatever tools you are most comfortable with, first and foremost.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't be the only guitar you make.
No.
Okay, so Stan Burt from Australia.
Right, mate.
Do you prefer building bodies? Prefer building guitars with set necks or bolt-ons, and why?
Do I prefer building guitars with set necks or bolt-on? I'm going to cheat here. I like them both. I think that if okay, I guess I won't cheat. I like set neck guitars the best. But we've done a few. Hold on. The reason I'm kind of getting tongue tied here. The reason that I'm about to say what I'm about to say is, generally speaking, when you say set neck, people think Gibson, and when you say bolt-on, people think Fender, and for very good reason. I would say that if I had my druthers, I would druther bolt a neck on using our neck joint that we have, which the neck tongue is actually underneath the pickup. That's a great bolt-on way to go. And you can either set it in with glue or you can screw it in with bolts, and it works terrific. What do you think, Chris?
I like them both. I'm with you in a lot of ways. I think the bolt-on with the thicker heel and the longer tongue is a really cool way to do it.
Yeah.
My whole deal, the reason that I like individual necks and bodies is because it's just easier to finish, and that's a lot of what I do here is finish, and it's easier and less unwieldy to have a body and a neck and be able to finish those and do what you need to do to those and then put them together. Sonically, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference, especially in if we glued in a Challenger neck or we bolted in a Challenger neck. I don't think you could tell a difference.
No.
I guarantee you couldn't tell a difference. But I like them both. And certain guitar styles demand a certain aesthetic,
Yeah, I don't think
if you're building Les Paul copies
and you got a bolt-in
really
neck.
crappy. No matter how cool
tacky,
you do the bolt-in, it looks crappy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks like one of the import things.
Yeah,
so,
it does. Yeah.
So I like them both, but if I was building a guitar for me, it would probably have a set-in neck.
Cool.
Okay, so I have, I'm going a little out of order on the questions just because these two are related and
Okay.
excellent follow-ups
Perfect.
for this current topic. So Natman Allen,
Natman.
all right, remember there's two, so keep your mouth
Oh.
shut so I'm finished. Okay, Natman Allen asks, what is the brand model of your pin router? I'm trying to find a good pin router for our local makerspace. And Grudgemeyer asks, what is the scariest tool in the shop?
Okay, Natman. Our pin router is an old school jet pin router from the late 70s or early 80s, I think. We don't know. It was purchased at OHM Banjos, and it had been there since the 80s because I talked to
The daughter
of, I think it's Joe is the guy who ran that company. And she said it had been there as long as she could remember since the 80s, and she's never actually seen it run. What is the scariest tool in the shop?
It used to be the pin router,
It used to be the pin router. I'm going to go with either
the planer.
the shaper or the radial arm saw fret cutter.
Oh, the radial arm saw could fuck you up in a
Because
thousand ways.
because the radial arm saw is our radial arm saw is really old and has zero safety things on it, and
It's
the
like
blade.
good old-fashioned America.
Yeah,
It actually,
Darwinism.
to use it, you actually almost have to put yourself in harm's way
you almost do
in a lot of
yeah.
ways.
It'll pull you in. With
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one of those where you almost don't even realize
Yeah.
just
How close
what's
your
going
fingers
on.
are,
Yeah, you're
and
just
it's
like,
just like butter. Zip, zip,
yeah.
zip.
Zing. Oh, look, I cut off
My thumb.
the top knuckle.
So if someone were in my shop using my tools, I get the most excited when someone's using either the radial arm saw for fret slots or the shaper, to the point where I've basically made a blanket statement: no one can use the shaper but me. So yeah,
And Michael Cross says, I've gone to the dark side and bought a bass. Do you guys ever build them?
we build so many basses it would make your head spin. I play bass in a band, and I play a Texas Toast bass.
The funny thing is, not that many bass players. I think there's a lot more guitar players than bass players. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot more guitars built than basses.
But you know what? I think that bass players are generally more into having a custom thing made for them than guitar players are. They're not as traditional. In fact, or in other words, there's there's not a huge base contingent of guys going, oh man, I got to have a 59 whatever base. I mean, I'm sure that, no, there's vintage base guys, but not to the same level as there are guitar guys.
Yeah. But yeah, we build a lot of bases.
Yep.
Bases are cool.
We'll be happy to build you a bass too.
Mm-hmm. Electric mandolins, we'll build those.
That's not a thing.
It is.
Simon Twycross says, would you paint a fretboard? Billy Gibbons has a bunch of guitars that look like they're painted, but are they?
Billy Gibbons does have a bunch of fretboards that are painted, and they look like they're painted, and they're cool. We have never put color. We have never put color and left it on a fretboard. We have sprayed lots of clear on fretboards. Anything with maple gets a color. We did paint a fretboard blue one time. Do you remember that? But but it was rosewood and it peeled right off.
Yeah.
So yes, we absolutely could, and we'll do that. It's hard to get right.
I don't know what the big payoff would be, because I've thought about doing that here recently.
Mm-hmm.
It goes so far beyond the traditional that
Yeah.
I start having issue with it.
You know what I
bit.
wonder?
Not issue, but it's like I've thought about doing it. I actually thought about doing a fabric fretboard the other day. I thought that would be neat, and then I thought,
cool.
well, maybe not fabric, but maybe some sort of paper or some sort of transfer or some sort of
Like shelf paper?
decal, something. Yeah, just to see if I could do it.
Yeah. You know what I've often wondered about with painted fretboards? Presumably the rest of the neck is painted, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason you would do it. If like a white fretboard and a white. How do you do side dots?
Well, you just do them.
What do you mean?
Sharpie?
Yeah, you'd have to paint them on later.
Well, you put or you put them on right before clear, or
But-
there's
Paint pen?
things you could do.
But you couldn't do them the way that we do them.
No.
You have to paint them out. You have to have a stencil.
You know
for
how you
those
do them?
blocks.
With a Dremel.
So I've got more related questions. Drittle?
Driddle.
Do you
Dreidel.
let your clear coat harden for an extended period of time before assembly? And Pyroman, how is catalogs to work on fretboards? And then Eric Terror, what tool would you use to clean a nut slot that has polyester clear coat?
Okay. What tool do you use to clear a nut slot with polyester coat? A nut file. If you're talking about a nut slot for a string, you need a nut file. If you're talking about knocking the nut out and cleaning it out, a file that has one edge.
Show visual aids?
Well, it had one smooth edge. There we go. This is kind of the mighty little son. I would use a file like this. It's from StuMac. It's got a rough edge on this side, a smoother edge on this side, and the ends have smooth. I would use that if you're cleaning a nut slot out. How is catalogs to work with? I believe it's pronounced cataloche, but I call it catalogs too.
it?
Yeah, somebody.
Well, I'm an American. It's catalogs.
Here in America,
Yeah, it is.
damn it.
We like the hard X on our X words.
I like it a lot. It's chocolatey. It stinks to high heaven, and it gets in amongst your nose hairs. You might want to wear a mask when you're working with that. What was the first question, love? I forgot.
Oh, do you let your clear coat harden for an extended period before assembly?
Yes and no.
Yeah. It kind of
I'm gonna let
depends on the
Chris
clear
take that.
coat.
Let's say it's our
Most-
clear coat.
Our clear coat. They say you can sand and buff 24 hours after painting it.
Didn't
then
Mike
they
say he did
also-
it in 2 hours?
That's a different clear coat.
Oh, it wasn't
That's the
okay.
2-hour clear coat.
Oh.
He said I sanded and buffed it,
Buffed did.
buffed it 2.5 hours after the 2-hour period.
Okay.
But they say that you can do that, but they also warn you that scratches can reappear. So typically what we do, let's say it's a rush job.
So let's say we painted on a Monday. We
Okay.
get clear coat on a Monday. What
Okay.
do you do next?
I would let it dry for 2 days. Then I would sand it.
So
with
we're
the
on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we're on Wednesday. I would sand it with, let's say 800 or 1,000 grit.
Okay.
And then I would leave it alone
till
the next day, 24
Thursday.
hours till Thursday,
Okay.
and then I would finish color sanding, wet sanding to whatever I'm going to finish up with,
Okay.
9 million grit or
Okay.
whatever you want to do, and then buff it, and then you should be fine.
Don't you wait in between buffing and go back another
You
day?
could, yeah.
So by
my-
your estimation, you could spray clear on a Monday and be buffing by what day?
Thursday.
Okay, that'd be fast though, right? That'd be a rush. paint
Yeah.
job. Okay.
Yeah, and it depends, and that's the standard amount of clear and
Okay.
and all this other stuff. And that's assuming that your temperature is within reason and that your humidity is within reason and all of that kind of stuff. So we don't typically do rush stuff like that much. So we'll let it sit for a week and then over the course of a couple 3 days buff it and assemble it. I'm still kind of learning the ins and outs of buffing to consistently to a high finish every single time without going, well, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. So, the idea that you sand it and let it sit, because for me, and this is all on me, as soon as I start sanding, wet sanding,
It's ready to rock. Tom.
yeah, I want to buff it and be done. I want to assemble it, man.
put
If
these
it's
sumbits
more
together.
than 24 hours and that guitar's not assembled, I drop the ball.
Yeah.
But the idea is that you wet sand and then you let that sit. And Mike calls it opening the paint, I think, or something like that. Opening the clear
Off-gassing,
coat.
I thought.
It's off gassing, and you can actually smell the paint when you start sanding on it. You can. It smells like fresh paint almost. So you
Now,
let
now
that
Mrs.
off-gas
Toast
a
has
little
another
bit,
question
and
for us,
then-
and she's going to ask, but I want to
Go
say,
ahead.
what if you were spraying nitro?
Then you let that
2
sit
months.
for a
Yeah.
year and a half, and then you hang it up on a guitar stand and it leaves a mark in it, and then you
And
bitch about
eventually
it.
it all turns to dust.
And then
Yep.
the next guitar you do the exact same thing.
Yep,
You
yep.
say, well, I really like
You do
nitro,
the exact
even
same thing 'cause
though-
you love nitro
even though it's
so
got
much.
marks in it from the last time you did it.
Okay.
Stefan Van Reckel,
Stefan Van Reckel.
what is your favorite body style of guitar?
Okay, are you going to go smoke?
Yeah, and I'm going to set you up for more questions if you.
All right,
run
what
out
is
of-
our favorite body style for guitar from Stefan? What's another one?
No, that's it. I'm going to set you up when you're done.
Okay, my favorite is the Challenger. It's my own shape. A lot of people are like, you should make your own shape. I already have my own shape, and I love it. It's the Challenger shape, which punches way above its weight class, and it's a guitar that I absolutely love.
Challengers are fun because we've built enough of them that we're good at building them, and we've worked out all the little small kinks of building them. So those are fun. Telecasters for me are fun because they go together super fast. And this last week I had to, we can do the pin router stuff on a Telecaster really fast. There's videos of us
Yeah.
doing it really fast. And I had to do another Fender style guitar this week, and it took me 4 times as long,
Yeah.
at least.
Was that your Beetle
And that
Kill
was,
Pine
yeah, that
Jazzmaster?
was a top route. It wasn't.
That's right.
there
The
was
Jazzmaster doesn't have any
one-
rear route.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
and it took 4 times as long as the Telecaster. The Telecaster is a brilliant design.
Yeah.
From a builder's standpoint, and so that makes those guitars really fun to do. Because you're shocked at how fast they go together. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, it's almost done.
Yeah. Stefan, if you want to see what the Challengers look like, if you go to the website, there's under the shop thing, you can just click on the thing that says shop and it'll take you to all the guitars that are in stock. And you can see all the guitars that are in stock, and a lot of them happen to be Challengers. So he also wants to know, would you build an upright string bass? I'm thinking he means a double bass. No. I would build an upright bass, but it wouldn't be an acoustic instrument. Right?
Yeah. That's the first time I've ever heard you say no.
Yeah. I mean, no. Joe Harvey 84. Thoughts on cheap China mass production guitars? I think it gives poor kids a chance to play only positive thing I see. We're not in the cheap guitar business, but I'm usually very surprised at how not sucky guitars from China that are coming at a really low price point are. That doesn't mean that, they're competition for us or we're competition for them. It just means that there's a lot of, yeah, like you say, a lot of beginner guitars will be lesser expensive, not very expensive things, and again, you know, if you start with something that you don't have to fight to play, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's cheap Chinese guitars, and then there's Chinese guitars, and those two can be wildly different.
As we have seen.
Yeah, because yeah, there's really the reason to have stuff made in China is to have it made at a price point. But the Chinese workforce is able to make anything from as cheap and crappy as you're willing to pay for to as good as you're willing to pay for at this point.
Sure.
So if we're talking about, you know, cheap Chinese guitars, then yeah, I mean they're pretty good, and they're infinitely better than the cheap guitars from when we were youths.
Sure.
Or before that.
And even before that especially.
You know, and really people bag on that cheap Japanese stuff that started showing up in the 60s here. But the reason that those got popular was because they were better than the cheap American guitars that the cheap American companies were making. You know, Harmony and Kay were making kind of garbage guitars.
Were they union shops?
I don't know if they were in union cities, but
well,
you know,
then they were probably union shops, and that's what you get.
And so the Japanese stuff was a little cheaper and a little better. That's how you make your mark on the low end industries.
But I'm surprised at how good.
Yeah, even
a
the
$99.
Yeah, exactly. Even the $80 Amazon, Firefly, whatever guitars are pretty good. And for a beginner, man, and kids that want to learn guitar are going to learn guitar.
Yep.
Almost no matter what you hand them.
Yep.
The other interesting part of that is not every kid has to have a brand new guitar.
No.
And there's far more guitars than there are people that play guitar.
I know your first guitar was a used guitar. My first guitar was a used guitar.
And my first guitar was so hard to play it hurt my fingers, and I didn't play it.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there we go.
Okay, so I have two related comments, not
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
So Dog Munch, sidebar quickly, you might want to reconsider your handle.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. Especially if that's a place like Dog Munch, Montana.
Toad Suck Berry, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So Dog Munch
says he'll donate $10 if you down that beer. And on that
This beer?
note, and on that note, James Severin says Matt needs a brew, Mrs. Toast.
Wow. I don't know if James knows how our what our rapport is. But yeah.
Telling me that something needs to happen is not a way to get things done.
I can walk across the room to the fridge.
his
So
wife's
what's the
on
next question? I'm going to walk over and get beers while Mrs. Toast asks us a question.
And I'll just vamp. I'll be like,
you be like me.
Yeah.
Nat Man Allen says Challenger body, coming off a response from a previous question. So I'm guessing he's also new and doesn't know what the Challenger body is.
I don't know that we have any
I don't
Challenger
think there's
bodies
any
to
in the
show
shop
off.
right now.
Funny that you should ask because we
Yeah.
You do?
Keep vamping.
Okay, so here's the thing. Oh wait, shit. And they're also so Simon says he loves the Texas Toast Challenger shape, and what was the design process for that? And that was a Cinco de Mayo party at the old shop before it was overcrowded with tools.
That's right.
Not only do they get to see a Challenger, they get to see, I think, if not the best Challenger we ever made, it's the best Challenger we ever made.
Let me move this guitar out of the way. Will you hold?
I'll get Mike's out.
Okay, there's a towel over on the
I got your towel.
the
right
pin
here,
router,
buddy.
love.
I haven't even seen this since NAMM.
So this is a Challenger, and this is my guitar shape that I have gone through many different iterations of. This is Challenger number.
4?
Well, now, okay.
Version.
Yeah, version
Version
4,
number 4.
Mark II, Mod 1, probably. And we've gone, they've been a little wide through the ass section here. They've been a little longer, been a little shorter. There's been a couple that have been made longer, one specifically for Andrew St. Pierre is actually longer to accommodate
Yeah, I don't
a
think Andy the
Bixby
Saint's here
B7. He might be
today.
doing something.
Well, I wanted to thank him for my T-shirt.
Oh, that's
Busy
right.
man.
So this particular one represents it's got all the new hotness. So
The new
the
hotness.
Challenger is a double pickup, single cutaway, flat top guitar. It's got let's start at the headstock, Chris. So it has a 3 on a side headstock that actually Mrs. Toast and I came up with together, based on
It's our baby.
is our baby. It's sort of based. We took some design cues from some people who I take a lot of. Who I like their style a lot. If you've been watching for a while, one of those is Dan Armstrong. Another one is Master Luthier Bruce Clay. And we made our own thing based on some design cues from people like those guys who I like. Flip it over and let's talk about the back. I'm very happy to be using Hipshot hardware, and this has the exposed gear Hipshot tuners that I really, really like, with the keystone knobs. And Hipshot's cool. You can get whatever you want. Notice this guitar has a volute, which I think is an upgrade over, say, a Gibson Les Paul. And Chris, can you get the headstock angle in the...
Yeah, guitar, take that camera.
This guitar has a 7-degree headstock. I'm not going to say they won't break, but they won't break as often as a Les Paul will. Thank you for doing that.
And it's also as much rake as you need.
It's more than
Anything
you need. And,
more
yeah,
is just showing off.
just showing off.
Yeah.
I have a comment. that
Okay,
I'd
and then
like
we'll go back to the...
to interject.
Okay.
Weenie roller,
Weenie rolling. Who said that? Robert?
a bunch of people. Well, a couple. I made
Okay.
it sound more popular.
Oh, okay. So someone asked me about like why I never talk about neck shapes and profiles. It's mostly because we do necks we size to fit. So if you have a neck that you like, or you say I want it to be a certain dimension here, there, or everywhere, we can absolutely match that, because all of our necks are made one at a time by hand, so they can be whatever you want. The Challengers are a set neck guitar, but they could easily be a bolt-on instrument, right? Mm-hmm.
Would it be as cool?
Sure, why not?
I don't know that it would be.
Maybe.
Depends
Mahogany.
on the finish.
Yeah, yeah. One thing about the current lineup of Challengers is that they're all mahogany backs, mahogany necks, rosewood fretboard, maple tops. They used to be maple necks, and so Challenger Mod 4 Mark II is all mahogany neck construction. Well, with exception of the fretboard. It has a truss rod that I have agonized over. I've tried every single truss rod in the world.
He did a whole hour-long presentation at
did.
a guitar show about
did.
truss rods.
I
so-
did. If you guys need, to go to sleep sometime, I'll do a truss rod talk. This one has a 3/8 maple top. It's got a kind of a fancy piece of maple, but not crazy fancy. And it has a 1/4 inch of binding, which means it has an 1/8 inch section of maple in between the back and the binding and the top. So that's kind of a cool hot roddy feature there. Chris is showing you.
Like a little racing stripe in wood.
Yeah, it's
It
really
has
neat.
it has the pickups that I believe are the true and holy pickup set. One, the DiMarzio Super Distortion in the bridge, and the DiMarzio PAF in the neck. If you can't get it done with that and you like to rock, man, you are doing it wrong. Finally, okay, so here's another mod 4, whatever. The 3 controls. We have a master or a independent volumes and master tone, and then the switch here. But one of the things that
We could almost call this the Brett Hagen.
the Brett
Not it was inspired.
it was inspired
it's
by
not what he
by Brett.
runs.
Yeah,
It's
but
not quite that hot roddy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but back in the old days, some of the original Challengers had switches here and master volume,
one
master
volume,
tone.
Yeah.
And then some had nothing here and master volume, master tone, and a like the McIntyre Murphy one that we did
Yeah.
had a telly style switch.
And we can do all of that.
Yeah,
But
we've
this
done
is the new
This is the
standard.
The standard Challenger. The other thing about the Challenger that
This is priced as shown at what?
2,500.
25?
Yeah. The last thing that I haven't told you guys about is the Texas Toast Bridge. Can we show them that?
Look it.
The Texas Toast Bridge is something that is not available anywhere else. And if you find it anywhere else, please let me know so
we're
I
gonna
can
sue
buy
them.
it from them, because these things cost me a boatload of money to have made. And I'm not going to get into all of that right now because it costs more than money. But this represents what I think is the ideal electric guitar, and it is my favorite guitar to build. Oh, we also use cryogenically treated fret wire on the Challengers as a standard equipment.
What
now.
are Preston?
What are Preston?
What are Preston?
Oh,
Not beat in with a
That's
hammer.
right. We don't bash them in with a hammer.
And this has your favorite finish of all time.
My favorite finish of all time, which is
hammer burst.
the hammer burst. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And really that's all you ever had to say
Yep.
was well, paint it like a hammer. And then I Google hammer and go, oh, okay.
Oh, right on.
That's what he wants.
Chris and I are this guitar I think is probably one of our most favorite standard things we've ever done.
I think this is the finest Challenger we've ever built.
This one and the one that we made just like this, only with the black top.
And
Right?
there's a couple right before that are like
Ooh, Roundy Crowny.
right on top.
Oh,
Roundy
man,
Crowny,
I love that
Roundy
guitar.
Crowny was really cool.
It was gorgeous.
It was,
was.
It was fraught with there were some things that would
Only
be
you
better
would
now.
ever know about.
Yeah, but I mean, Brett's is awesome.
Jeff's
Jeff
is
LaQuatra's
awesome.
is awesome.
Yeah.
There's a couple more that are floating
They're
around.
floating around.
All of a sudden, like the last 8 or 10 of these that we built were.
It takes a
and
long
are
time to
even-
get these guitars done
Yeah.
to the way I thought they needed to be done.
Yeah, and from machining to assembly and everything in between, yeah, this is the guitar you wanted to build,
Yep.
From
Yep.
the beginning, yeah.
5 or 8 years ago or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
So if there's too many
without being
compliments.
too
Oh, cool.
Yeah, too many compliments about the Challenger to mention commenters.
Well, thank you, everyone who likes
and,
the
went
Challenger
to the
guitar.
website, saw them, they're great.
Cool.
So Joe Hervey, who's very vocal,
Mhm.
says, like the Space Shuttle?
Not unlike the Space Shuttle. There's a lot of things that are called the Challenger.
The cars.
No, that's right. Yeah, the Dodge. People who box. There was a time when we thought that having ill-fated
be a Columbia.
spacecraft wouldn't have been anyway. But yeah,
Discovery.
Didn't that come up after
it did.
the challenge? And what was one of the previous names of this was going to be? I can't
The
remember.
Super Dude.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't going to be the Super.
No, there was some other names too for it that were like.
Haji.
I think it was always the Challenger because
I
we
think it was
wanted
always the
something that
Challenger,
The
too.
would
Mean Mistreater,
challenge.
the Wicked Woman Stealer.
No,
Challenge
the-
the status
no,
quo.
but-
Yeah,
but-
so the mean mistreater was the double cutaway. The
Dan Armstrong one.
no, that was the
Wicked Woman Stealer.
The Wicked Woman.
the Wicked
Stealer.
Woman Stealer was the double cutaway with the points. The mean mistreater was I can't remember what
I don't
that
remember
was.
that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I thought there was another name for this guitar
There might have
don't
been. I
remember.
don't
that was very, very short-lived.
know. Okay.
Well, Carl Engstrom wants to know if you've done any chambered Challengers.
Yes, we have. As a matter of fact, all of the Challengers are chambered. Some are chambered more than others, but this one is a chambered guitar. Now, it's not hollow. There are chambers in it. Not very many, just some to get it down to a respectable weight. It's got to make weight, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Joe again wants to know, do you guys buy hardware in bulk or per build? Yes and no.
Yes and no. Mrs. Toast is absolutely right. It kind of depends on, hardware is one of those things that you can buy a lot of it. It's not going to go bad. So if you get a good deal, say on tuners, then you buy a bunch of them. Then that's the hot setup. If you get a good deal on pickups, then yeah, you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, and some stuff you get a good deal if you buy in bulk, and
some not
and
so much.
sometimes it's all the same no matter how many you buy.
Chris is
And
absolutely right.
Tuners
So-
are kind of that way, but you buy a lot of tuners
Yeah.
because we use a lot of tuners.
So
But you got the partnership too with Hip Shot.
well,
That's right.
Yeah.
So as Mrs. Toast and Chris pointed out, we're Hipshot distributors. So our price on one individual tuner is the same as if we buy 1,000 sets of tuners.
I think this is a question
Maybe if we
about
buy
the
1,000, we
bridge.
get a slightly
Maybe.
better
Hold
deal.
on one second.
I'm just trying to catch up because the comments are
Okay.
coming in faster than
They're coming in
breaks
fast
in
and
the
furious.
Talking. I was asking if it's a top loader, and I think he's going back
Yes.
to talking about the bridge.
It is a top loader
There's
bridge.
recessed, yeah.
That's
So-
one of the neatest parts of this too. Is
So,
'cause they're
and that kind of segues into my. Ooh, please don't point at it with
I
that,
know
love.
It's sticky pokey.
I know it's a heavy duty sticky pokey.
Can you
dough.
see them?
So these bridges that I had made, there's no way I could have made those bridges one at a time. And even though it cost me so much money to have those bridges made, I had to buy the materials, I had to have them made, I had to have them chrome plated, I had to all the shipping back and forth, machine time, stuff like that. And I've got a bunch of those bridges, but once they're gone, and they will not be. I'm only using these on Challengers from now on. So if you call me and say, hey, I want to build a Flying V and I want a Texas Toast Bridge, sorry, I'm not doing it.
Quantities are limited.
Quantities are limited.
And something else you did with these was because they're so expensive, you had to kind of break it up.
Yeah,
you had
so
them
I have
made, but not chrome plated.
I have
and
a
then we
bunch
them
that aren't
chrome-plated
chrome-plated, yeah.
in batches where we get a price break.
There's an economy of scale. Right?
Yeah, but we can't have them all done because
No,
that would be
it's cost prohibitive, yeah.
And
there
didn't the
wouldn't be a
chrome
price
plating
break.
place burn down?
What our first chrome plating place did, yeah, Advanced Plating in Nashville. They're back up and running now.
Oh,
so,
good.
yeah,
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, and we buy some stuff. The funny thing about all of that is unless you're a big player, which we're not, unfortunately, is we can't afford to buy enough to get the really sweet deal. So
On stuff like chrome plating.
well, chrome plating or even hardware, you know, I mean, you calling up somebody and going, hey man, I want 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Josh
really
at
not
Hipshot is
good.
totally cool.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah.
not impressed by our orders.
No, most people are
generally,
not
so.
impressed with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want 20 CTS pots.
It's funny too,
or
like
20 switches.
Josh is always super cool to us when we go to the NAMM show and stuff. He's like, "Hey, it's the guys from Texas." So
Yeah.
he's a really nice guy, but I'm sure like there's some big company. Maybe Kiesel uses all Hipshot stuff, and how many tuners do those guys order?
Yeah,
every
I'm
year?
sure. I'm
Or
sure.
whatever.
There's other places that order a lot more stuff than us.
Yeah.
But and the wholesale retail lines are blurred
Yeah.
now more than ever.
Yeah.
So it depends on what we're buying.
Yep.
Yeah. And sometimes you forget to buy stuff, and then Amazon or Flipside
Or Reverb.
whoever has it.
You mean Flipside, the Great American Guitar Store?
Yes.
That's right, guys. If you're looking for parts and you can't get them from us, check out Flipside, the Great American Guitar Store. Actually, Ike from Flipside, the Great American Guitar Store,
Came
stopped by
today,
earlier today.
which
It's
is
good
why
to see
I
Ike. Yeah.
thought of mentioning them and not just Amazon.
That's right.
Because I know Ike loves Amazon. That's one of
Oh,
his favorite things in the whole world.
You know what though? I love Flipside music, and Ike is my very good friend, and I try to push Flipside as often as I can.
and I
If you
wish
guys
nothing but the best for
absolutely.
Ike
If you
and-
guys are
and
in the
Flipside.
Denver area and you want to check out one of the last bastions of cool guitar stores in Denver, Flipside is pretty much it.
Yeah, and every time I go in there, they have something cool.
Yeah.
And the guys are cool.
Yeah.
And then they have cool stuff.
Yep.
And you can hang out and play guitars and
Yep.
and talk
And they're
to them
in
and-
Denver. They're not in Louisville or Longmont. They're in Denver.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
many places
so
are
you
in
can-
Denver?
And like
So
still
you could-
kind of dirty part of
Yeah,
Denver.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so you can go to Flipside, and then you can actually go someplace else, too.
To some cool dive bar. That's
Exactly.
a couple
Yeah,
blocks
yeah.
away.
Not another guitar store. Yeah, yeah. And
Yep.
just
Or
make
go
it
to the
part of your
Comcast.
day. Yeah.
Or the Comcast and pay my bill.
And get a new
Comcast.
box or something.
Yeah,
I don't
there's
know.
a Comcast
It's like right around
deal
the corner.
right
That's where you have to
there.
go
Right
if your
there.
box
Okay.
On a
breaks
Como,
down.
yeah.
All right. You go to the 7-Eleven where I saw Billy Gibbons.
Yeah. You saw him at Fashion Nation, did you?
I saw Hickenlooper in the Walgreens
It was across the street.
last
I
week.
was at 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay.
You could visit the place that I was at when I saw Billy Gibbons from across the street.
All right,
Visiting
let's
Blinky the Clown.
move forward.
He's dead. Okay, so a couple of related comments.
Okay.
Andy Mandiak seems very excited about he must have insomnia. He said "Trust Rod video!" exclamation point.
Oh, he
and
must
then-
be.
So then Jim Bucket came in and is apparently reading my mind and said Texas Toast Trust Rod class for insomniacs, guaranteed to fall asleep. He had
You kn-
people sat through that class the whole time.
If you come to my setup workshop, which is the next one is Saturday, November 2nd, and there's space available, you'll hear a condensed version of my truss rod lecture.
But you have that on a video.
I do.
You should upload it. The people want it. Somebody else is like,
Okay.
yes, truss rod video, please.
Criminy.
That's from Loring Court.
If you come to my build your own guitar workshop, which is a week-long class that starts the next one is November 11th,
There's only
and there's
one spot
one
left.
spot left. If anyone wants to build their own guitar with us at Texas Toast, you'll get you might get even more than the condensed version of the truss rod.
The
lecture.
next one's tentatively scheduled for February.
February at some point. We don't know
Yeah.
when yet. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought.
Setup class is 8 hours, only 1 hour devoted to truss.
That's right.
It's a small part. Mm-hmm. You'll come away a better person.
Or you'll be like,
Or you'll be like,
what's that
Why
noise?
did I pay for this?
Yeah, no, the truss rod. If you're a truss rod geek like I am, which nobody is, you might really find it interesting. I can't believe this is like a piece of glass.
It is. Yeah, and we were talking about buffing and all of that, and I'm like, this guitar looks really,
Really,
good.
really
and I
good.
am the number one hardest person.
You can see
on.
stuff that I can never see. I'm like, I don't see what the
Yeah.
fuck you're talking
And I'm
about.
like, I can't believe you can't see that.
Yeah,
I don't know how long you guys want to pratter on, but it's 6:01.
we'll
No.
go.
Okay, great. Because Simon has a great question.
All right, let's hear
And
it.
this is kind of timely.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a copy of one of your guitars, Fender?
Oh, okay. I have never seen what I would consider to be a copy of one of my guitars. But Mrs. Toast reminded me that we made a video on a Thursday afternoon of us making a buttload of Beetle Kill Pine Telecaster style bodies, what we call the Daily Driver. And that night,
Someone's asking about the can.
my friend Richard Ryan was at the Fender Antique Roadshow, or whatever the fuck they call it, the Custom Shop Roadshow. It's a lot of fun. If one comes to your neck of the woods, go to it because it's really neat.
They give away stuff.
They give away T-shirts and shit. And
They don't
it's-
have ceramic poodles like the Antiques Road.
No, they don't. But
They might. They just
but
might not show them.
three of the things that they had were Wildwood exclusive. That Wildwood was the shop that put on the thing. Colorado Beetle Kill Pine, Telecaster, Stratocaster, and Jazzmaster. And
They were Wildwood exclusives.
Wildwood
I didn't realize
exclusives.
that.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
Colorado.
And they're made with Colorado Beetle Kill Pine. Now, we've been making Beetle Kill Pine bodies for a long time. And one of the guys at Flipside, the Great American Guitar Store, Chris, actually commented that he liked it better when Texas Toast did it
Over
a year ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Fender, of course, it makes more tellies. Theirs looked really great. But, yeah, so that's as close as it came to anyone copying us. And I'm sure they didn't copy us. And the reason I say that is because I don't think the guys at Wildwood or Fender know who the fuck the guys at Texas Toast are.
The
And
guys
they,
at Gibson do now.
no, the guys at Gibson could not care less and refused to
Well,
care
they know
more.
who you are.
Oh, they might.
They
but yeah.
they went by your
Oh, yeah, but they
and
don't
saw the
care.
Contempo.
That's right.
The guys at Wild would know us, at least one of them, because they gave us that, we're not coming to your thing.
Did
look
they?
When we,
Oh,
yeah,
years
remember
ago.
when we
Oh,
dropped
yeah,
off a
that's
flyer
right,
there and
yeah.
we're like, it'd be really neat if you came. And they like, we're Wildwood. We have Fender. We have
Yeah.
Gibson.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah, the guys at Wildwood don't give a toss what we
No,
do.
they
And
don't.
they have no idea what we're doing.
And that's
so.
fine.
We're like 5 miles from them.
And I don't think we're the first people to ever make a guitar out of Beetle Kill.
No.
I know it's because I don't have any original ideas, and
Yeah.
There
I was
are
the one
no
that was like,
original ideas
"Oh, that's
anymore.
neat wood. We should make some out of that." I think I've seen that.
Anything you have thought of, somebody thought of already. I
Yeah.
guarantee it.
Oh, now a couple of people have made fabric top guitars. Again, that's not my idea, but we made a bunch of fabric top videos. And if you do fabric top guitar search on Google, it is very likely that one of our videos will pop up. And the people who have made those, who have said, hey, I watched your video and I made these and I made my own video, I love to see that stuff. So my friend Dane has made a couple, some Gunner has made some, a handful of people have done fabric top stuff and have credited me with, oh, I'm going to try that because I think it's a neat idea that what you did.
And if that fucking Jamoke can do it, I can do it.
If that Jamoke Matt at Texas Toast can do it, then I can do it. And that's awesome, guys. I love to see when you guys make stuff and if you were inspired by me, I love it because I've been inspired by so many people that it's cool to it's cool to help out and be inspirational to some people, even if it's for some goofy thing.
And
So,
it's
yeah.
the process,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
I didn't come up with it. Yeah.
We didn't come up with, you didn't come up with gluing fabric to a guitar and then figuring out some way to cover that. But I think we did develop a process for doing that
Yep.
that works for us.
Yep.
Where
And
you don't
it's
have to
cool
put, like,
when
fuchsia
other people,
burrs to hide the
or
edge.
epoxy or whatever else
Yeah.
you want to cover it
Or
in.
Mod Podge.
We can, yeah.
By
We-
the
we
way,
came
I
up
got
with
the
our
idea
own
of fabric top
things.
from the projectguitar.com resource, which was a great resource. I kind of did it a little differently, and it really worked great for me.
Yeah, but it's neat when you see somebody else do it and they give you some credit for it and
Yeah.
don't act like they did it themselves. You know, just the process.
And guys,
Not
I didn't
gluing
come
fabric
up
to
with,
a guitar.
Yeah, I didn't do
because
that.
ZZ Top glued
Sure.
fur to a guitar long before either of
I
us
wonder what
decided
that
we
did to
wanted to
its
make a
tone.
guitar.
Fur,
The fur,
Yeah.
it made it sound fuzzy.
more floss.
Fuzzy, more fuzz.
We're gonna start doing stuff with more fur.
More
So-
real live fur. Real. This is pony.
So here's-
is pony?
Oh, that's a Holstein.
It's pony.
You can't use that Spicoli.
Wouldn't you think this would be make a super cool challenge? It's so soft. Don't feel it.
The
The
You can't do
cattle
that
caster.
Spicoli?
You know Billy Gibbons has a cattle caster, right? I'm not just saying he does,
I think
but he
his
actually
is-
does.
His
yeah.
is shaped like a billy bow.
It's a Telecaster.
I think he has one of each then.
No, he may, yeah.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't he? So we're gonna work with this. We're gonna start working with leathers and furs and shit like that. You can copy us, but you can't copy us. All right, what's next, Mrs. Toast?
Okay, so Stefan wants to know where you get your rosewood from. India?
Indiana.
There's rosewood, and then there's rosewood, right, Chris?
Sure.
So we get a lot of rosewood from Dan the Woodman at Guitar Wood Experts. And there's Indian rosewood, there's Mexican rosewood, there's Bolivian rosewood, there's Brazilian rosewood.
Amazonian.
There's lots and lots and lots of brown, oily wood from South America.
And some of
it's-
them aren't even that oily.
No, this Chechen is not particularly oily.
But they call it some sort of rosewood if
Yeah.
you Google it enough times.
Let's talk a little bit about our buddy Dan at Guitar Wood Experts,
Yeah.
because it deserves. We made friends with Dan at Guitar Wood Experts at a couple 3 years ago at the NAMM show, and we have gotten so much good stuff from Dan. Now, we had to pay for it. You know, it's not like Dan just gives us his shit. But it's a company that I like, and I don't mind recommending one bit. I can't say
Which
enough
answers
good
another
things
question.
about.
Can you suggest places where I could purchase wood for my first from-scratch build?
I can't
Yeah.
stress enough. Go to Guitar Wood Experts and call Dan and tell him what you want to do.
And I think that's the secret is call Dan.
Don't buy it off the thing.
Well,
call
don't
Dan.
just go to the website and go, well, I don't know if they have what I want.
Because it changes all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Because-
call Dan and tell him what you want, and then he'll get it for
Here's
you.
a scene out of the Andy Griffith Show. Call the
Just
man.
call the man, Aunt
Dan the Wood
Yeah,
man.
call the
Call the
man.
man.
Yeah.
Call Dan. Tell
Yeah.
him that Matt and Chris and Mrs. Texas Toast sent you. That won't get you anything, but tell him he did because
It might get us something.
It might
That'll
get
you
us
the,
something.
the
yeah.
plus 10%.
No,
It won't.
but we're working with Dan to see if we can get some sort of a viewers of Texas Toast special. Call Dan at Guitar Wood Experts and tell him what you want. I'd be shocked and amazed if he didn't have it. And the more you buy, the less shipping is.
That's the kicker on wood.
That's the kicker on
is
wood.
It's
It's heavy.
big and heavy, and you can't because you could literally just put a label on the wood and it's still going to be
Yeah.
that size.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
never
make it
gonna be smaller. Yeah.
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 And yeah, but Dan is always everything we've gotten from Dan has been better than we were hoping for.
That's a great point. Have we ever
we-
gotten anything from Dan that sucked?
No,
Never. Even the
never.
shit, he was like, hey, I got this second thing. Do you want it? Yeah,
well,
all right, send it.
This is our cheapest ash.
Yeah.
Well, send me some. Oh, this is really nice.
Mhm.
And the other thing is, the world, you don't just do things because they're cheap. You don't just buy things because they're cheap. You do business with people you like,
Yep.
because you like them,
And-
because they're good people and you like them.
We buy a lot of lumber from local hardwood places in Denver, Paxton and Austin, but
Austin and Paxton. And,
yeah, but there's some stuff that we can't get locally.
Right.
But Dan always has the stuff that we need. So
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
need something right away, we'll run down to Paxton or Austin and get it. If we need
Yeah.
quantity of swamp ash, we go through Dan. If we need torrefied lumber, we go
Yeah.
through Dan.
Well, and one of the reasons that we do that is because then we don't have to pay to have it shipped if we buy it here locally,
Yeah, or we need it right away.
or we need it right away. Yeah, but yeah, we do business with people we like because
Yeah.
they're good people, and yeah,
Speaking of which, let's talk about some other people who we like that are good
Came out
people.
wrong.
And that is our friends at Bitterroot Guitars. Bitterroot Guitars is a place that has lots and lots and lots of good stuff, and they have decided to sponsor our channel, kind of, by giving you guys a 15% discount at checkout if you type in TXTOAST at checkout when you go to Bitterroot Guitars and buy stuff like truss rods, or they have pickups, they have EMG pickup, they have all
But
kinds
hold
of
off
little
on
knobs
the
and
truss
switches
rod
and shit.
purchase until you can hear the hour-long
Oh yeah, that's right.
instructional video that Matt will be posting onto the YouTube.
Maybe
channel.
one day.
Everyone's looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh.
They have tons of stuff at Bitterroot,
Check out Bitterroot Guitars.
and always adding
Call
more.
John and Cheryl. They've got lots and lots of neat stuff. And we don't make a dime off of the Bitterroot guitar discount that you guys get. How would we make any money off that?
You don't make any money off it?
No.
I
You
do.
make money. You do.
I worked out a deal.
Good. I don't know what they have right now. They are always getting stuff in. They're always getting neat shit. If you come to the class, you'll be using some Bitterroot stuff, some tools and things like that. And I can't recommend them enough. They're great people. So check them out.
So Simon asks, going back from a
Oh,
few minutes
okay.
ago, when you were talking about people posting their videos of doing their guitar tops
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
wants to know how can we share videos and shiz with you. And quick sidebar, Simon, go check out Gizoogle.
Gazoogle, that's right.
What do you call that? Ebonics?
Usual?
No.
Oh,
and
the
Shiznit and all
Snoop-
that.
the Snoop-
Ebonics?
yes.
Is that right?
I don't remember.
So if you go to Gizoogle, GIZOOGLE.com, and search something, you'll be very pleased with your search results. Oh, so anyway, his question.
you can send me an email, and you send me an email through the website. I will get it.
Maybe someday we can figure out how to do here's everybody's guitar. I'd like to be able to like splice in pictures and things. I've seen people do that on these.
Oh, on live,
on live chats.
I have
but-
a lot of what I used to call daily EDGs,
Yeah,
your everyday
everyday.
guitar. Yeah. Someone did a super chat thing, that blue one. What is that?
What?
It just showed up. Now it's gone.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Joseph Caswell says weenie roller. He paid $2 to say weenie
$2.
roller.
Bucks.
$2 to say
Yes.
weenie roller. I'll drink to that.
Thank you, Joseph.
So V Phoenix wants to know, have you got any cheap specials? It's just the other day I ripped a hole in my trousers and my arse fell out.
Cheap specials. We have a guitar that we call the Daily Driver, which is a Telecaster style guitar. We have a couple of them in inventory right now. One is a white one
With a mahogany
with
neck.
a mahogany neck, and it's not on the website. It's $9.99. If you're interested, send me an email. I'll send you some pictures. I need to get those pictures up on the website.
Is
I have
Dan Dan the
pictures of it.
Woodman located in Oregon or something? Or
Oregon or Washington?
Washington?
I can't
somewhere
remember.
up,
Where.
Right
like,
there,
up,
yeah.
up almost Canada.
With all the wood.
And the bees. Dan, I think, is a beekeeper.
Is he a
sometimes.
beekeeper?
Or he
How
goes
could
to
he be a beekeeper with that beard?
He goes to, well, he doesn't always have the beard. I know he goes to like the farmer's market and like hangs out with the crunchy granola guys, and
I could totally see that.
Do you know
'cause
why?
He kind of looks
because
a
he
little,
likes those chicks.
Because he's a crunchy granola.
yeah.
I like
Can't
Dan.
talk
He's
at
a
all
cool
anymore.
dude.
He's
I like
totally
Dan
cool.
too.
Yeah, but he kind of reminds me of that guy, that Jay whatever, that makes fun of the crunchy granolas in Boulder. What's his name? The ginger dude with
Oh yeah, he
What's
does
his
look like
name?
him. Yeah.
What's his name? Do you know the
it's-
guy?
I think his
I don't-
last name
He
is
has-
Sears.
He,
And he
JP
does-
JP Sears.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
no, I'm
that
pretty
guy's
sure it's the
awesome.
same guy.
That's
They
not
look
the same
so much
guy
alike.
as
I think
Dan.
they could. I would believe they were brothers if you told me.
Dan is so nice and so cool. Dan actually wants to come out to the shop
what I mean.
and do like an evening with Dan the Woodman at Texas Toast, and like just kind of talk about like tone woods and stuff like that. And we would love to have.
That would be really cool.
I'm not sure. It would be a free thing. You get to come out and hang out and ask a bunch of nerdy questions to a bunch of nerdy wood guys. So anyway,
yeah.
that'd be a cool thing though. That one of the things that we'd like to do more of now that we have the bigger space is have lectures and kind of meet and greet kind of things like that. So meet and greet with Dan from Guitar Wood Experts would be really fun. All right, what's up?
So Simon says that Mike Learn video was great, but Chris is also a Jedi master of painting guitars. Some videos on painting guitars would be great, as I totally suck at it. The problem with that is you have to have a camera in the spray booth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So who's that? Simon?
Simon.
Yeah. We had to relocate shops and paint booths, and we were asked very specifically by the person who owns the spray booth that we go to in Erie, or is it Commerce City, or is it up Clear Creek Canyon, or is it Steve, or is it Mike, or is it Jay, or is it Regina? And
Regina Phalange?
we've been asked to not bring a camera
Regina.
into the spray booth because they are fearful that if someone finds out that we're using that spray booth, that they'll run into the same issues.
Because we got busted, so maybe we bring Johnny Law with us everywhere we go.
That's what they're fearing. So we cannot tell you or show you where we spray paint now.
And just because I pretend to be an expert at this stuff doesn't mean I am. So
Chris lets me spray sealer.
you can spray anything you want.
That's what he says, but Chris lets me spray sealer.
No.
But you can watch it on Moonshiners, because on the next episode we're going to show you where everything is, but don't tell anybody. That's going to get us in trouble
right.
for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's actually in Larkspur. Oh,
There's lots of guys that know how to spray.
sure.
They just don't make videos.
Yeah.
That's what I've decided. There's certain things in the world that people don't make videos about, and they don't show you how to do them. And guitar painting and guitar buffing are
Especially
those, and I don't
buffing.
want to go
Yeah.
against any of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, moving forward.
Oh, I'm trying to find it now, and I can't, so I can't give credit because this is really funny.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know if you watched the playoff game last night.
Playoff of what?
I don't know what's in the playoffs right now. I have no idea. It's definitely not football. That much I could say.
Maybe it's a college.
It's baseball.
Oh, it's baseball because it's October. It's the voice of October. Oh, yeah.
Final Four?
There was a sports
October
ball.
Madness?
Nope. Somebody, I think the Astros made it to the Super Bowl.
Superdome?
The World Series. Yeah.
Right on.
I think that's what I saw in the
In
paper.
the sports ball match?
I read the paper, but I don't read the paper.
Do you actually
know
have
what
a
I mean?
paper?
Well, on Sundays I actually get the paper still.
And do you
I-
take your
I sit
Play-Doh and
down.
transfer the funny
No-
pages on the
yes,
Play-Doh
and then I stretch
spread out
it,
Nancy's
yeah.
face?
Yeah, no, the rest of the week, I for whatever reason, I still, even though I don't read very much of it, I still like looking at the pictures in the paper.
I still like looking at the pictures and
The
reading the headlines.
Yeah, headlines. And I'll
Hey, have
read
you heard
the
about those
first
new
little bit.
corduroy pillows?
Yes, Dane, we're spraying it at your sister's
They're
house in
making
Larkspur.
headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Dane, we're spraying it. Huh?
His sister's house in Larkspur, I gave it up.
Oh, don't give up.
She
then.
doesn't even know.
Yeah. All right, what's continue A? How are we doing?
Simon says that you need to stop being so humble, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Chris. Oh my God, someone's at the door.
No, I
No
think
one's
it's
at the door.
wind.
Fuck you, Wind.
They'll knock. It's crazy windy here today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, just look at this bad bitch
yeah,
right here.
yeah. A lot of our stuff turns out it's still, and it might be one of those things where you're just never 100%. You know, I don't want to say that I'm not 100% happy with. It's just, it's a constant struggle. And I think all of this stuff is a constant struggle.
Every last thing
Guitar
that we do,
building
yeah.
is a constant struggle.
That's why I don't like
This
to
is just
say,
the
"Oh,
one
we're
that I get
experts
to
at this,"
be-
because we're not. We're
Yeah.
constantly evolving. We're
It's like the
students.
medical profession. You're constantly practicing.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're guitar practicing. Yeah.
All right, continuing.
Okay,
Do we have
so,
anything else?
Yeah,
or-
John Mansfield
Okay.
wants to know, if you call SimTech and ask for the stuff they sell to Texas Toast, will they know what you need?
They absolutely, positively will know.
Which is hilarious because that happened fairly early on too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As you, made reference to that,
Yeah.
and then we found out that's absolutely true.
Yeah, if you call SimTech and say, I want the stuff that the guys at Texas Toast use, they will know. And not to toot my own horn, because I'm not. I think they get that question a lot.
Well, I
It's
think-
the 2850 Easy Sanding Seal.
And it's the only thing we've ever bought from them.
Yeah,
and
it's
also,
the
it's
only
probably they start typing in Texas and it pops up.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing that shows up.
And
they
there's
go,
only
"Oh,
like
yeah."
one or two guys who
Right,
do that
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, so it's not like they remember us exactly. It's that they can use their
And
computer.
Texas Toast is such a dorky name that they remember it. It's like Texas Toast. Oh, those
Yeah,
jerks.
those-
Yeah,
those jerks.
No, those dudes are totally cool, and they will absolutely, positively know what you want if you say, "I want the stuff that the Texas Toast guys want."
Yep, and change your life.
It kind of will.
It
It's a
will,
game-changing thing. Yeah.
You'll be like, I can do this if it's all this easy.
Uh-huh.
It's not.
Sorry, Dirty Knobs, there's a list of approved purchasers that can charge to the Texas Toast account, and I'm sure they're not on there.
You don't even want to know.
There's a safe word that you have to know.
You know what? The last time I ordered from SimTech, they sent it COD. Criminy, that was like I had to drive to. It was a pain in the ass. Anyway,
That might be one of the reasons that, because they deal with big companies.
Yeah.
And us.
and us.
You know what I mean? Because
Well, they'll do a PayPal. They'll let you, but if you don't tell them I want to do PayPal, they'll send the dang thing COD.
yeah, I was sitting
So,
here
yeah.
when you ordered it, and I think maybe you didn't say anything. 'Cause
I the guy was like, "Yeah, we'll get it right out," and I'm like, and I was about to call and go like,
Thanks,
"Hey, did you
dude."
ever send that?"
yeah,
Yeah.
Jim Bucket's like, it worked for me.
yeah.
To get a COD, it worked for you to put it on the account?
No, I think you want
No, I know, yeah, I'm teasing. We're joking.
PayPal. Yeah. The last thing, other than SimTech, the last thing I ordered COD was BMX pants in 1984.
You still got them?
No.
That'd be sweet. Well, so I don't know how many people are watching still, or what's going on here, but here, let's push the thing there to make it.
There's there's three people like it now.
So I don't know what time it is, you guys, but it's. I know we're getting close to. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. It's 6:30 almost. Yeah.
All right, sure.
So we're in the process of wrapping. If you have any questions that you want to throw at us real fast, please do so. Guys, if you asked a question and we didn't get to it, please leave something in the comment section below, and I try to still answer or at least reply to every comment. And it's getting tricky because you guys are commenting a lot, if you guys take the time to comment, I take the time to reply back because it means a lot to me. So if you've got any questions, leave them there. If you want to send me an email, go through the website and do the send contact us thing. I get those emails. Gosh, Chris, I can't think of a whole lot else to say. What else we got? What's going on this week? What do we got going on this week?
We're gonna build some guitars.
We got to build some tables too
We got
for
to
the
build some tables.
for the class.
Yeah. What happened to the EBO bass?
Oh, I haven't heard of that one for a while. Actually, the owner of the EBO base came by this weekend and actually threw money at it. So there will be some EBO base videos coming soon. Anything else?
No, there's just
Oh man, I'm tired.
good stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
sleepy.
Yep. Let's be done.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on Sunday. And I without you guys, the whole shop. There's no whole shop because you guys make it all happen. So I'd like to thank Mrs. Texas Toast for joining us this weekend, and I'd like to thank Chris, as always, who's here in the shop with me, putting up with my bullshit.
You totally just made him sound like Garth.
This is
With me,
basically
as always,
Wayne's
Garth.
World. Yeah. I'd like to
Yeah.
thank everybody who's watching these dorky videos, and thank you to everyone who's doing that. If you like the video, give us the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider
someone
becoming
was
a
asking
member.
about their Patreon T-shirt.
If you send me an email about your Patreon shirt, if you haven't gotten it yet, I'll be happy to send it out to you. There's Chris's head. If you like this stuff, go to Patreon and see if you can't help us out. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys cool stuff like this. If you can't do Patreon, we totally get it. Just like and share the video as many places as you can, because not everyone knows this, but we've been kicked off of just about every internet luthier
Guitar
forum
forum,
that
yeah.
there
That's
is.
just you. They still love me.
They still like you.
Yeah, because I don't.
The more they know you're associated.
The more they know you, the more
Well,
they'll be ready
no,
to
I
kick
just don't.
you off.
I don't say anything.
Don't align yourself.
So until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you, if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Weenie roller.